یہ نہیں چلا. اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان اللعین الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم ان اللہ و ملائکتہ یصلون علی النبی یا ایہا الذین آمنوا صلوا علیہ وسلموا تسلیما اللہم صل علی محمد و آل محمد. خمسہ مجالس کے سلسلے کی آج تیسری مجلس. مجلس کے آغاز میں تلاوت کلام پاک کے لیے محمد علی سے کرتا ہوں کہ وہ تلاوت کلام پاک کے لیے تشریف. اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد.
اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم قل یا ایہا الکافرون لا اعبد ما تعبدون ولا انتم عابدون ما اعبد ولا انا عابد ما عبدتم ولا انتم عابدون ما اعبد لکم دینکم ولی دین. صدق اللہ العلی العظیم.
اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد. جزاک اللہ. میں درخواست کرتا ہوں سلام کے لیے علی نقوی سے کہ وہ تشریف لائیں اور ہدیہ کلام پیش کریں. اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد.
صلوات. سلام کے چند سے سماعت فرمائیں. آئے نئے جمال پیامبر ہے سیدہ آئے نئے جمال پیامبر ہے سیدہ او آئینہ جمال پیامبر ہے سیدہ او ایمان دھلا ہے جس میں وہ پیکر ہے سیدہ او عالم میں کون تیرے برابر ہے سیدہ او جبریل سا ملک تیرا نوکر ہے سیدہ آئے نئے جمال پیامبر ہے سیدہ او دین خدا کی ہادی و رہبر ہے سیدہ او یعنی شریک کار پیامبر ہے سیدہ او بیٹے امام باپ پیامبر ولی علی او ایسا کہاں ہے جیسا تیرا گھر ہے سیدہ اور جو فقر انبیاء ہو وہ تعظیم کھو اٹھے اور یہ بات اور کس کو میسر ہے سیدہ آئینہ جمال پیامبر ہے سیدہ مولا کائنات اسی گھر کے فرد ہے اور گردش میں کائنات ہے محور ہے سیدہ اور مولا کائنات اسی گھر کے فرد ہے اور گردش میں کائنات ہے محور ہے سیدہ آئینہ جمال صلوات.
جیتے رہو بیٹا ماشاءاللہ بہت خوب. اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد. فرحان رضوی صاحب سے ملتمس ہوں کہ وہ سلام کے لیے تشریف لائیں. اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد.
درود پڑھتے محمد و آل محمد. امام زمانہ علیہ السلام کو ہم تعزیت پیش کرتے ہیں اور دعا کرتے ہیں کہ اس وقت جتنے بھی لوگ پریشان حال ہیں ان کی پریشانی جلد سے جلد دور ہو. جتنے بھی لوگ بیمار ہیں ان کو جلد سے جلد صحتیابی نصیب ہو. بالخصوص ارشاد صاحب میرا بھائی پاکستان میں جو اس کی بھی طبیعت خراب ہے اور جتنے بھی لوگ بیمار ان کو جلد سے صحتیابی دیں اور جو بھی اس دنیا سے چلے گئے ہیں ان کے درجات کی بلندی کے لیے ایک بلند ترین صلوات. ماں ہوتی ہے ماں ہوتی ہے. یہ جو میں پڑھ رہا ہوں یہ کنورسیشن ہے بی بی فضہ کی اور بی بی فاطمۃ الزہرا کی شہادت سے پہلے کی. تو بی بی فضہ کس طرح سے بی بی فاطمۃ الزہرا سے کہتی ہیں میں بھولی نہیں آپ کا گھر چلانا وہ ایک وقت میں دو فریضے نبھانا وہ چکی چلانا وہ جھولا جھلانا کبھی آپ کے بن نہ گزرے کوئی دن مجھے اماں فضہ وہ کہتے ہیں لیکن ماں ہوتی ہے ماں ہوتی ہے. وہ گودی میں لے کر اسے پیار کرنا وہ کہنا میرے لال سو جا حسینہ وہ آواز سنتے ہی بیٹے کا سونا میں جب اس کو لوری سناؤں گی بی بی کہاں سے وہ آواز لاؤں گی بی بی ماں ہوتی ہے ماں ہوتی ہے. ہو پیاسا تو پانی پلا دوں گی بی بی میں کھانا بھی اس کو کھلا دوں گی بی بی سویرے میں چہرہ دھلا دوں گی بی بی گلے سے لگاؤں وہ روٹھے مناؤں مگر ماں کی خوشبو کہاں سے میں لاؤں ماں ہوتی ہے ماں ہوتی ہے. اے بی بی وہ در جب گرا اٹھایا تھا میں نے، شکستہ ہے پہلو یہ دیکھا تھا میں نے، وہ جب آپ سے حال پوچھا تھا میں نے، نہ غم پسلیوں کا نہ پہلو کا صدمہ تھی یہ فکر محسن نہ مر جائے میرا ماں ہوتی ہے، ماں ہوتی ہے۔ جنازے پہ زہرا کے دیکھا یہ منظر، کہا جب یہ شبیر نے ماں سے رو کر، اے ماں بلا لو ہے بے چین دلبر، یہ سن کر کفن سے اٹھے ہاتھ ماں کے، یہ فضا نے دیکھا تو بولی علی سے ماں ہوتی ہے، ماں ہوتی ہے۔ فرحاں ذیشان کیسا سما تھا، وہ جب شمر نے شہ پہ خنجر چلایا، پہنچ کر یہ مقتل میں فضا نے دیکھا، پسر کے سرہانے کہا فاطمہ نے، لحد چھوڑ آئی ہوں تجھ کو بچانے، ماں ہوتی ہے، ماں ہوتی ہے۔ بر محمد وآل محمد صلوات۔
ماشاء اللہ، اللہم صلی علی محمد۔ ملتمس جناب محترم عباس رضوی صاحب اور فرحان رضوی صاحب سے کہ وہ مرثیہ خوانی کے لیے تشریف لائیں۔ اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد وعجل۔
بارے جگر سلوات۔ ایمان کی تصویر، ایمان کی تصویر نظر آتی ہے، ایمان کی تصویر نظر آتی ہے، اور قرآن کی تفسیر نظر آتی ہے۔ اللہ تیرے گھر کی فضائے اللہ تیرے گھر کی فضائے زہرا ارے تطہیر ہی تطہیر نظر آتی ہے اللہ تیرے گھر کی فضائے زہرا تطہیر ہی تطہیر نظر آتی ہے ایمان کی تصویر درود پڑھیے محمد والے محمد سرفراز عبد صاحب کا یہ سلام ہے. دنیا جو دیکھی دین سے خالی حسین نے، دین سے خالی حسین نے. دنیا جو دیکھی دین سے خالی حسین نے، دنیا جو دیکھی دین سے خالی حسین، بنیاد لا الہ کی ڈالی حسین، دنیا جو دیکھی دین سے خالی حسین، بنیاد لا الہ کی ڈالی حسین، جنت کی آرزو میں کہاں جا رہے ہیں لوگ، جنت کی آرزو میں کہاں جا رہے ہیں لوگ، ارے جنت تو کربلا میں منگا لی حسین، جنت تو کربلا میں منگا لی حسین، اللہ کے نبی کو میسر نہ ہو سکے، انصار ایسے پائے مثالی حسین، باغ ارم کی حر کو تو جاگیر باغ ارم کی حر کو تو جاگیر بخش دی، کہتا ہے کون رکھ لیا مالی حسین، دنیا سے دنیا جو دیکھی دین سے خالی حسین، فطرس سے پوچھ لیجئے راہی بھی ہے گواہ، فطرس سے پوچھ لیجئے راہی بھی ہے گواہ، چھوڑا نہ ایک نشان بھی سوالی حسین، مقتل سے کیا اٹھایا شبیہ رسول کو، مختل سے کیا اٹھایا شبیہ رسول کو لگتا ہے کائنات اٹھا لی حسین نے دنیا جو دیکھی دین سے درود پڑھیے محمد والی فاتحہ یاد میں نبی کی جو زہرا کا غیر تھا یاد میں نبی کی جو زہرا کا غیر آنکھوں میں اٹھتے بیٹھتے آنسو تھے دل نڈھال حیدر شریک غم تھے اور اطفال خورد ان کے سوا کسی کو نہ تھا ان کا کچھ خیال روتی تھی سر پٹک کے مزار رسول ٹوٹی تھی قیامت کبریٰ بطول پر نوحہ پڑھا جو یاد میں بابا کی لائے علی کے پاس شکایت یہ خاص روتی ہیں رات دن جو بطول فلا مقام دن بھر کے کام رات کی نیندیں ہوئی اس سے بڑھ کے بھی مغموم ہوتے ہیں مرتے ہیں سب کے باپ کہیں یوں بھی روتے اور سن کر مدینے والوں کا یہ دل شکام پایا تھے صابر و حلیم مگر رو دیے امام جا کر حرم سرا میں سنائے جو یہ کلا ایک آہ بھر کے رہ گئی بنتے ایک آہ بھر کے رہ گئی بنتے شہ اتنا کہا حضور کچھ ان کے کبھی میرے ہی باپ تھے وہ کسی کے نبی جا کر یہ ان سے کہیے کہ زہرا ہے غم رونے سے روکتے होना एगी ये वो चल बसा जो था मेरे हर दर्द का तबीबी तुम घर न छोड़ो मेरे ही रुखसात करी रोना है नागवार तो टल जाऊंगी कहीं अरे बच्चों को ले के शब में निकल जाऊंगी कहीं इस गुफ्तगू के बाद ये मामूल हो गया ता शाम घर में रहने लगी बेंत रोई रोई यहाँ जरूर मगर घूट कर गला पढ़कर इशा बक़िये में आए बसा मातम भी सारी रात किया और बैन सब रोए बेटियां भी हसन भी हुसैन वापिस गई जो घर तो हुई साहिबे फरा उभरे तसव्वुरातो ख्यालात दिल खरा रहलत करूंगी मैं तो जब उठेगी मेरी बच्चों के नन्हे जिगर होंगे पास सब बेटियां भी बेटे भी आंसू बहाएंगे अरे बिखराएंगी वो बाल तो ये खाक आखिरी ज़बान है बादल दुआ जो खत्ते वसिया रखा किया रुक रुक के हर मकाम पा बीवी ने की बुका तय करके फिर मुसल्ले पा उस खत को रख दिया यासीन पढ़ के लेट गई और की यासीन पढ़ के लेट गई और की फिजा तड़प के रोई के बीबी गुजर गई बच्चों को पालने भी ना पाई के मर फिजा तड़प के रोई के बीबी गुजर गई बच्चों को पालने भी ना पाई के मर गई था याद में नबी की जज़ाकल्लाह
मेरे कराम इससे पहले कि मैं क़िबला को दावत दूँ आपसे दरख्वास्त है कि ज़रा आगे तशरीफ़ लाएँ ताकि मजलिस का समा हो जाए। खमसा मजालिस के सिलसिले की आज तीसरी मजलिस है और मजलिस का वक्त जो है वो शाम 8:30 बजे है। तो वक्त की पाबंदी की दरख्वास्त की जाती है आपसे, ताकि वक्त पे मजलिस का इख्तिताम। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद। जो मोमिनीन इन मजालिस को स्पॉन्सर करना चाहते हैं उनसे दरख्वास्त है कि वो रब्ता करें इंतज़ामिया से। और अभी तक जो मजालिस स्पॉन्सर हो चुकी हैं उन सब के मरहूमीन के लिए सूरत फातिहा। इसके अलावा मोमिनीन हमारे मरकज़ में जुमे नमाज जुमा है, उसके स्पॉन्सर के लिए भी दरख्वास्त की जाती है कि उसमें भी अपना हिस्सा शामिल करें, ताकि नमाज जुमा के बाद जो है वो मोमिनीन को जो लंच या जो भी तबरुक दिया जाता है उसके लिए स्पॉन्सरशिप के लिए भी दरख्वास्त की जाती है। नाउ आई रिक्वेस्ट द रिस्पेक्टेड मौलाना हमजा सौदागर to address the majlis for tonight. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا سيد الخلق أجمعين حبيبنا حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المكرمين المنتجبين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين. روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. For the hastening and the return of our Imam, let's recite the salawat. The story of Fadak is important for us to discuss and remind ourselves and explore the accounts, narrations related to this to have a correct understanding. Let's set the facts down and then analyze based on the facts what happens in regard to Fadak. I have seen misunderstandings regarding Fadak in the Shia community. We have to understand what exactly happened and then why it happened. Not on the side of the enemies. Actually, that too needs to be understood. Then, on the side of Fatima Zahra, what was she trying to do with Fadak? Fadak was one of the Anfal, the Fay rather, a large list of items including vast lands were given to the Prophet by God according to the Quran after the conquest of one of the Jewish tribes that they ended up overcoming and defeating without war. It wasn't a battle that was fought. They were defeated without a battle. And what happens with the lands that are obtained in that way is that they go to the Prophet. If warriors, if Muslimin fight and take a land, that is going to be Arad al-Khiraj, they call it. Arad al-Khiraj are lands that are owned by all Muslims. If there's a war that takes place, started by the enemies, and then they are defeated, Muslim fighters fight the enemies, the belongings, the objects, the warfare, the swords, the spears, the shields, the armor, the horses, the bows, the cattle, all of that stuff that belongs to the enemies and now is confiscated by the army of Islam will be distributed between the muqatilin, the fighters. After a portion is taken, the khums and what the Prophet selects specifically for himself. This is the law for that. And then the land that is gained. These were movable, as they say, objects. They are distributed after the khums is taken out. أَنَّمَا غَنِمْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَأَنَّ لِلَّهِ خُمُسَهُ وَلِلرَّسُولِ وَلِذِي الْقُرْبَى. Khums of all the sheep, the goat, the horses, whatever animals, objects, khums of it will be removed. The part the Prophet wants, he will take. The rest of it is distributed amongst the muqatilin. But the land is not distributed amongst the muqatilin. It will belong to all Muslimin. And the way that works is that the Imam, the Prophet at his time, after him, Amirul Mu'mineen, is responsible to cultivate that land or make it productive. In those days, that was pretty much it. It's either a ranch, it's either raising livestock, or it's farming. But somehow you have to make it productive, generate funds on that land, and the funds generated from the land will be distributed amongst the Muslimin equally. That's the part that the second Khalifa started distributing unequally. He started discriminating, Arab, non-Arab. He started doing that. That is this type of, these funds, Arad al-Khirajiyah, parts of Iraq were Arad al-Khiraj, there's other areas, plenty of riches were coming in. They were to be distributed equally amongst Muslimin. Why? The land belongs to all Muslims. Not that they can go, each of them do whatever. No, it's handed over to the Imam of the time. He generates funds using the money and then distributes the funds amongst all Muslimin equally. That is when the Muslimin fight and conquer a land after an enemy has fought against the Muslimin, has created a threat, and therefore they went and fought them and they won the battle. But when there isn't a battle, when there isn't fighting that happens, and then they were made to leave like the Jewish tribes, all their land is going to the Prophet, and he decides, based on, of course, divine instruction, how much goes to whom. And there's no particular portion that is mentioned as law, the way it is in the case of Arad al-Khirajiyah, where everybody gets a share. You divide it up between all. You get the numbers, you do a census, you figure out how many you have, you distribute the total, the sum of the funds between all members of the Muslim community. That's Arad al-Khirajiyah. These lands, there's no rule. The divine, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, instructs the Prophet to do with it specifically and give how much to whom and so on and so forth. These lands included Fadak. Then, during the lifetime of the Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Jibreel down to the Prophet, told the Prophet, آتِ ذَا الْقُرْبَى حَقَّهُ. Give your ذَا الْقُرْبَى what is their right. That's the general concept mentioned there. It doesn't say what the haqq is. The narrations tell us that was the command, the general part of it in the verse, the specific, what exactly is the haqq. God had told the Prophet it was Fadak that was given to Fatimatu Zahra. Fadak belonged to Fatimatu Zahra salamullah alayha for a number of years. She managed that large property. It's a huge piece of property. I don't know how many acres. And it was cultivated, it was developed, there were a lot of riches coming from it. She had a number of workers. She managed it. She managed a huge operation, a business, successfully. And everyone knew that was a public thing that happened. Everyone knew the workers were Fatima Zahra's workers on the land. Everyone knew that. Okay. This is the backstory of Fadak and Fatima Zahra, her owning it during the lifetime of the Prophet. Okay, let's move on. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi, rahmatan lil alameen, passes on. What happens? What is the purpose of taking Fadak from Fatima Zahra? What is the purpose of it? Absolutely. So we have to understand, in order to get to that conclusion, we have to understand what happens. And some of these points about what happens are very important. I insist on elaborating. Maybe just like the brother here, maybe you have already understood this. I think it's important for all of us to have this understanding, okay? Realize and remember, after the demise of the Prophet, things don't start on that day, okay? You have a nation developed by the Prophet, a government established by the Prophet. Everyone looks up to the Prophet. It's an establishment established by the Prophet. The future of this establishment after the Prophet already decided upon by Allah, said to the Prophet, announced to the people, and the people have already pledged allegiance to Ali ibn Abi Talib. Okay? Don't start in Saqifa when you're trying to understand the picture. Start from Ghadir, okay, and pre-Ghadir. There's an established authority, government of the Prophet. People have agreed. They have pledged multiple bay'ah to the Prophet. They have shown they want him as their ruler. Then he gathered them on Ghadir, on the day of Ghadir, 18th of Dhul Hijjah, on the way back to Medina, where before they split paths, a certain population, of course, of the believers. It wasn't all those who were in participating in Hajjatul Wada. And he gathered them. He said, "Alastu bi'awla minkum min anfusikum?" Am I not more? Do I not have more authority over you than yourselves? Do you agree to that? Do you understand that? They said, "Bala, yes, Ya Rasulullah." He said, "Okay, man kuntu mawla, fahada aliyun mawla." Okay, if whoever understood and believes I'm their mawla, I am telling you, as your mawla, Ali is now your mawla onwards. Gather, pledge allegiance to him in the name of Amirul Mu'mineen. Call him Amirul Mu'mineen, the commander of the Mu'mineen. He will command you. Okay. They all came forth. They congratulated Amirul Mu'mineen. They willingly, lovingly, for the good people, the munafiqeen, not lovingly, but they acted as though they were happy about it. They came, "Bakhin, bakhin laka ya Ali. La'natullah ala al-munafiqeen." They came forth. They said that, but they didn't mean it. They hated it. There's a lot to say here. I'm skipping. There's things rushing to my... I don't want to get too bogged down with this. We want to get to what happens there. What I insist on saying is there's a nation moving in a certain direction. Okay, and they've all agreed to this. Through the teachings of the Prophet, this has been built. Now the Prophet passes on. The direction is clear, not in the mind of Ali ibn Abi Talib and Fatima Zahra, salamullah alayhima only. In the minds of everybody. Everybody understands what's supposed to be happening. Everybody knows what they agreed to. In fact, after the bay'ah was taken for Abu Bakr, you've heard this, that some tribes did not pay zakat to Abu Bakr. Their logic was, their reason was, they told him, "We're not going to give it to you. You're not the one the Prophet said to lead. We don't have an issue with giving zakat. We're not going to give it to you. You're not the person. They fought them, killed them, and did the rest of it. I don't want to get into those details. Okay. People knew. It was a known fact what the direction of the ummah is, not one person or two people. Okay? So what happens in Saqifa? In Saqifa, a coup is orchestrated. It's a coup. It's not a revolution. It's not a people's movement. It's not the ummah turning away. A coup is orchestrated in Saqifa. It's a tiny minority. Initially, the Ansar gather in Saqifatu Bani Sa'idah. Their concern is they have caught wind that, and they recognize now we are defenseless. Now they're thinking in their Arab minds again. They realize, okay, the unifying factor is gone. Nobody's going to listen to Ali ibn Abi Talib. That's what they know. The Prophet said what he said. They're like, people are not going to listen to him. And if we don't do something about it, they're going to take away imara from us. They're going to take away khilafah from us. They're going to take away governance from us. We're going to turn back to what we were before the Prophet. All the respect is gone. All the resources are gone. We have nothing. So let's do this. Let's get together. Let's unite on a leader. They set that up and they set themselves up for doom. Because Umar and Abu Bakr and their friend, they hear about this, they find the opportunity they're looking for, they go over there, they cause division. They're actually notified because of jealousy, because the name that pops up is from one of the two tribes, Aus and Khazraj. Sa'ad ibn Ubadah is mentioned. Someone who's jealous of him leaves the session, informs them, this is happening. They go over, they take that as an opportunity, as they take advantage of it. They spew tribalism, and they use religious rhetoric, and they incite those jahili feelings in people. They end up getting a number, not all, not Sa'd ibn Ubadah, not a number of other people, some of the people in Saqifatu Bani Sa'idah to pledge allegiance to Abu Bakr there. Is Saqifatu Bani Sa'idah all of Medina even? No. Is it the majority of Medina? No. It's just some of the leaders of the two tribes that were original dwellers of Medina. That's all it's. All the other companions, all the immigrants, they're not included. Is it over? No, it's not over. They have a plot to overthrow the established government of the Prophet that's supposed to be continuing through Ali ibn Abi Talib. Okay. To carry this out, when all the people are moving in that direction, they are orchestrating a coup. How do they do this? There's different things they do. They realize Ali is not going to sit idly. And the people have their direction set. They got to change things up. Okay, this is Saqifatu Bani Sa'idah. We got these people to do this here, but it's not over. They started rallying people up. They started creating commotion. They started walking to the masjid. People come pledge allegiance. People didn't come. People didn't come. What do we do next? What are they sitting in the masjid? There's a tribe that comes to town that is known as a vicious tribe, as a more savage tribe, as a tribe that were thugs. They would steal, loot, kill, and they can easily be bought off. They spoke to them, look, help us out. They started forcing people to pledge allegiance to Abu Bakr. When they do that, obviously, they understand if money can buy this tribe to fight for them against Ali ibn Abi Talib, money can buy others to fight them. Okay? FedEx provides them more than enough wealth to buy tribes, people, and so on and so forth. In their corrupt minds. Because see, remember, these are their tactics and these are their fears. the concern of these individuals that are going against the command of Allah that they knew, their concern is that Ali plays the game the way they did. So we're using force and we are paying people to get bay'ah. Ali can use money and generate funds and pay off people, and they can fight. Cut that off, take fadak away. Ali doesn't have that much wealth to do this. Well, that's where fadak comes into this. It's important to say, sometimes I hear people saying that, Islam doesn't believe in the role of the people, because if we believed in that, then Saqifa should be right. That's very wrong. Saqifa was not popular vote. Saqifa is a coup. Okay? It was not a popular vote. If they would have had a free election, everyone would have voted for Ali. This is not a claim. I'm able to prove it. One of the proofs is, I already mentioned, they forced people. Why did they have to force people? They announced, come and vote. The people didn't come. People had already pledged allegiance. Fadak being taken away is for that purpose. Fadak was a piece of land that belonged to Fatimah Zahra, was being worked on by Fatimah Zahra, managed by Fatimah Zahra, generating income. They were afraid it was going to be used to win this battle, not knowing perhaps that even if it was not taken, that's not the method of the Ahlul Bayt. They would never pay people to come. Ali could have promised people the way they did. They promised people. They didn't pay them up front. They promised that tribe that I mentioned. They said, look, help us out. We'll give you a slice of this. There was no funds available. If they wanted to do that, there were ways. They didn't have to use even fadak. But that's not a method used by Ali ibn Abi Talib. That's not what Islam prescribes. That's not what God says. This is what they were trying to do with fadak, and they wanted to make sure they keep it away from the family of the Prophet. Fatimah Zahra, salamullah alayha, comes forth. Her part in this is this back and forth to the masjid, eventually coming to a public lecture. There's a couple of back and forths. I don't know the exact number because you can't judge that by just looking at the accounts available in history. There's a couple of incidents. There's a back and forth here. How many times was there? I'm not sure, but there were a few back and forths. Going to the masjid, coming back. Why is this? She went to the masjid and she protested, why were my workers kicked off of my land? Claim that would actually happen. This is what happened. Why were my workers kicked off the land? They said, prove it's yours. That's the first wrong judgment against Fatimah Zahra, against anyone, right after the demise of the Prophet, by the people who claim to be representing the path of the Prophet and continuing and succeeding after the Prophet. That's what Khilafah means. It's important to note these. They said, prove it's yours. Islam says, if you have possession of something, if you have workers working, the onus is not on you to prove it's yours. If you want to say it's not mine, while my workers are there, I am going back and forth. Everyone sees that I have possession of this land. I don't need to establish and prove in court that it's mine. They don't come to your home, hey, get out of the house. That's how Israelis do it. That's the Israeli method. Get out of here and prove it's yours. No, it's not yours. This is Israel. No, it's Palestine, bro. It's Palestine. There's no such thing as Israel. There never was. It's a big lie. There never was. There never was a thing called Israel. There never will. This temporary period of God knows, maybe 78 years, maybe. Hopefully less than 80 years. And it's just it won't be on any map. Soon you will not see that on any map. Okay? That's their method. That's the way that works. That's not how Islam. If you have position in something, it's yours. They can't walk up to you, hey, take off your jacket, prove it's yours, otherwise it's mine, or give it up. You don't do that. That's not Islamic. That's against Islam. You have position in something, it's yours unless proven otherwise. Anyone suggests otherwise needs to prove it. Otherwise, I have position of it. That's the first step in the wrong direction. Fatima Zahra is trying to expose, we'll start with this premise, her purpose is not getting Fadak back. She wants to publicly expose that they are going against what the Prophet says. That claim was heard by everyone. Fatima Zahra didn't say, okay, we're not going to play this game. She said, okay, you want proof? I have witnesses that the Prophet gave it to me. Who? Ali ibn Abi Talib. To a female slave who was there when the Prophet gave it to me. She brought Ali ibn Abi Talib, a female slave. They testified. They said, well, the Quran says, here we go. The Quran says it's either two men or man and two women. That's one man and not two women, only one. Doesn't count. La'natullah ala al-qawm al-zalimeen. La'natullah ala al-qawm al-zalimeen. The verse does not say in testimony you need that. The verse talks about taking witnesses. When you want to have witnesses witnessing something, not at court. See, if you're signing a deal, the verse is about this. When you're signing a deal, and one side of that deal is going to be paying you at a future time, it says write it down and take witnesses. Take witnesses. This is not a court. Take witnesses, either two men or one man and two women. It doesn't say in court you need that figure to testify. Never said that. It's a complete misunderstanding. I've seen that in the Shia community as well. We have this misunderstanding. The verse didn't say that. And the Prophet's judgment during his time proves that understanding. There's an individual during the time of the Prophet that is known as Dhu Shahadatain. Dhu Shahadatain, the person who had two shahada. His one testimony counted as two. The Prophet judged based on the testimony of this one person. There was a dispute between two people. The witness was a man. Based on one man's testimony, the Prophet judged and ruled and gave his verdict in accordance to that testimony. If this verse meant that in court you need to have either two men or one man and two women, then the Prophet went against the Quran. It's not the case. He didn't. The Quran does not say that. It's a misunderstanding. It's a misunderstanding. Why did the Prophet accept the testimony of that one person? Because he was pious enough. He was known to be such a strong, pious, truthful man that doesn't lie. It was enough for the Prophet to come to that conclusion and make the judgment. If Dhu Shahadatain is enough, Ali ibn Abi Talib is not enough. Ali ibn Abi Talib is not enough. They've made the first lie that you need to prove it. Second lie that this testimony doesn't count. Fatima Zahra is not over because she's not trying to get Fadak back. She's exposing. Every one of these is showing not for necessarily that time. They saw it. Whoever was convinced. But for all generations to come afterwards, if we want to go back, all this claim, or I'm Shia, I'm Sunni, should I do this? Oh, who knows, who cares? No, it is known. She recorded this in history by publicly saying these things, documenting them deviating from the path of the Prophet while claiming to be successors to the Prophet, leaving these marks in history, these signs for whoever is looking, whoever is trying to see the truth. Then she said, okay, you claim that he didn't give it to me. You don't accept the witnesses. Do you accept that it was the prophets? You know the Quran says it was the prophets before he gave it to me. Well, let's say he didn't give it to me. It was his. Well, I inherited it. It's inheritance. There's no one else. I'm the only heir. Inheritance. This is where inheritance comes. She didn't claim it's inheritance. It wasn't inheritance. It was a gift. They rejected all of that. She said, okay, let's go along with this. There's other things. There's other Islam. If it's not this, if you're not, you're going to go against that ruling. Well, there's inheritance. What about that? So, we heard the Prophet say that Anbiya don't leave behind any inheritance. She said, you're lying. The Quran says, وَوَرِثَ دَاوُدَ Sulaiman, or vice versa. I think I got the wording wrong. Sulaiman inherited from Dawood. Okay. After Dawood, Sulaiman, the verse says he inherited. You're going against the Quran. The Prophet never said that. Documented in history. They didn't change their ways. It didn't cause a public rebellion against them. But she documented this. Anyone is looking for the truth, that's their method. Present the truth with their blood. Present the truth. It's up to you want to take it or not. We're going to present the truth. We're going to make sure it's clear to the world. If people don't want it, it's their choice. God told us to make this clear. Fatima Zahra is not looking for fadak. She's not fighting for her right. If Allah wanted, which this is Allah wanting it, this is, as one of the terms they use is the irada takwiniya of Allah. Allah took it, right? Who else takes it? Who can take anything from anyone? On an existential level, on a takwini level, on a tawheedi level. She understands tawheed. She's not like us. God gives and God takes. She's happy with that. She doesn't have any issue with that. She's not sad, depressed because she lost fadak. No. She's not going there to fight to get fadak back because she wants a few bucks in this world. The story of fadak is not even to get it back to financially support a movement for Amir al-Mu'mineen. That's not the method. That's not how it's done. Ali built, you know how many, there are these, you still go, you hear about it, and they say some of them are still there. I'm not sure how accurate this, the areas, the orchards, the date trees that are there, that are still standing, they say they're planted by Amir al-Mu'mineen. Well, whether these are or not, he cultivated the land. He was able, he's capable, he's a capable man. Very capable in many different areas. But when he would build it, he would tell Imam al-Mujtaba, bring the paper and pen, let's do waqf. He did waqf. Built it at Sadaqa Jariyah. He gave it up as soon as he finished, completed that orchard, set it up, the water is flowing, the trees are planted, everything's going well. Let's write this is waqf. I don't want personal money. And he didn't use that, okay, let's start building an army, we're going to attack at this time. That's not Islam's method. That's the CIA's method. That's Osama bin Laden's method, which is CIA. There's no other. It's Daesh, again, another CIA project. That's what this is. That's not Amir al-Mu'mineen's strategy. It's not Islam's way of doing things. Fatima Zahra didn't try to get fadak back at all, in fact. She knew it's not coming back. Her objective was to expose, to clarify to people then and onwards, what the truth is that they have hidden. This is one of the things that needs to come out in the right way. Brothers, sisters, stop discussing these matters in offensive ways. We're having a conversation here. It's being streamed online, perhaps, of my understanding. Whoever likes to tune into it can tune into it. And we're talking about history. We're going to be clear. They are mal'oon, whoever did this. And we named them. Okay? We're trying to state facts and apply the verse of the Quran that says they are mal'oon. We're not making this up. It says whoever الذين يؤذون الله ورسوله لعنهم الله وأعد لهم عذابا مهينا, if I got the words right in Arabic. They deserve la'an. This is the historic document. They hurt Bad'atul Rasul days after his departure from this world. We're stating these facts. The point is to express the truth. This needs to be clarified. It's been hidden, buried. People don't believe it. Oh, it's not possible that this individual or the other individual did this. We're not making it up. Go look for yourself. It needs to be mentioned, but not in an offensive way. Don't offend people. State the facts. Know the facts first. Don't make up anything. Know the facts. Go read them, but be open about it. This did happen. Wallah, it happened. The references are clear that it happened. They stole that property from Fatima knowingly. They killed the leaders of the tribe who did not pay zakat to them because they objected, saying that the Prophet did not appoint you as the Khalifa. They killed Muslimin. Not just Fatima Zahra. They killed her too. They're responsible for her death. She documented that with her showing her disapproval after the injury, after the incident of the door that everybody heard. They tried to make it seem like they regretted, they wanted to go back, apologies for what they did. Fatima Zahra turned her back. She didn't say, I'm not going to see you. Ali allowed them in. It's his house. Meaning, I'm okay with that. But I'm going to show I'm not okay with them. Not because it's personal. She gave up more than that. Easily. If it was the right thing. This is not about that. They have not usurped my property. If they would have asked me, perhaps she would have given it to them for free. They took that to fight Ali. They first stole Khilafah from Ali. And then they stole this. And they injured her to go in and force Ali ibn Abi Talib, tie him up, take him to the masjid. Make him raise his hand, and he didn't open his fist to show that he's not okay with this. And they touched their hand to his, and they said, that's enough. He did bay'ah. And he didn't object. They did all of that. Fatima Zahra made sure that afterwards when they came, say, oh, we went to the house of Ali. Everyone know I'm not okay with them. The verse of the Quran says, whoever hurts the Prophet, hurts the cause of Allah or the Prophet, la'anahu Allah or la'anahumullah. Okay? And the Prophet said, Fatimatu bad'atun minni, faman adaha faqad adani. Whoever hurts her has hurt me. This has been documented. She made it clear, I didn't forgive them, to make it clear for guidance of the ummah, not because she's not able to forgive. She's the most forgiving person. For our guidance, she turned her back. She's very capable of forgiving, very, very capable of forgiving. She turned her back so that we know that that is the wrong direction. Salamullah wa salawatuhu alayki. Salamullah wa salawatuhu alayki. None of the things that Fatima Zahra did throughout her life, but especially in these times that anyone else except for the ma'sumeen, and even for them is difficult, would be very emotional times. Very emotional. All that insult, disrespect, calling Fatima Zahra a liar. She's claiming it's hers. You're saying prove it? So you're saying she's a liar? That's what that means. How upset would you get? How could you maintain your calm and proceed with what's right for the ummah, not for yourself? This is Fatima al-Zahra. Salamullah alayha. Ruhi fidaha. Ruhi fidaha. All of the efforts of Fatima al-Zahra after the demise of the Prophet were to make it clear to the ummah who they are and who Ali is. Bad'atul Rasul stands behind the door to protect Ali against them. Now get who Ali is for whoever has doubts about who Ali is. Some people who are waking up, I've seen clips, ulama who are genuine ulama who grew up in a Sunni environment. Obviously, we need to also make sure we are not Shia because we grew up in a Shia environment. Got to make sure you're not Shia because you just grew up in a Shia household. Go figure it out. Is it right or is it wrong? Just because my parents said this is right, I've heard this all my life, doesn't mean it's right. In fact, some of the things you've heard are actually not right. You got to check it out. You got to go and figure it out. Some scholars who are Ahlul Sunnah, but they are looking for the truth. I've seen them very passionate for Fatima al-Zahra. I've heard one, I don't want to name him. I don't know if it's good for him or not. And he probably doesn't like me because right now he doesn't like Shia. He thinks we've gone astray. I don't care what he thinks about me. I love that he loves Fatima al-Zahra. I want you to love Fatima al-Zahra. Don't love me. I don't care if you like me or not. You don't like my Ammama, that's fine. You don't like me because I'm called Shia, that's fine. You love Fatima al-Zahra, I love you because you love Fatima al-Zahra. That's what I want. You love her. That's what's important. This is happening. Once the love of Fatima starts to grow, and then you see Fatima, you find these, it's fact. It's documented. She stood behind the door to defend Ali. Who was Ali? Why did she defend? Why did she take that injury for Ali? Before I get into the masab, I want to make one last point here. I want to use all of what was said, the historic accounts, what Fatima al-Zahra salamullahi alayha did. Say this, look, we are living during a time that very evidently the thirst for the truth and the willingness to accept the truth when seen is at a height. It's unbelievable for me. I don't know if you've been following or not. It's unbelievable. Somebody just sent me a message tonight, just a couple of hours ago. Scott Ritter, who was part of the U.S. military, right? A high-ranking officer, then worked for the UN, right? Who was a supporter of the Zionist state, has posted on Instagram that I think now, after seeing the last atrocities of Israel, I agree Israel should be no more. Israel should be no more. I don't believe in Israel anymore. Wow. This is not a youngster that is now coming of age, changing his view, because that's a lot easier. This is a guy who's been part of this, he is a patriot. It's good to be a patriot. It's good to love all people. It's good to love the American people, although they're not Muslim. The people, American people, I love the American people. Besides them being my mom's side, my mother's side is the Christian Americans, part of the population, of course, because you have to acknowledge all the different races and ethnicities that are in this part of the world. Besides that, no, even if you're not, I'm not Mexican, but I should love the Mexican people. They're people, they're God's creations. I don't want any harm to come their way. I don't want any harm to come to any people's way, including the American people. You don't want that. It's not being patriot against other people, patriotic against other people. We don't have that in Islam. I don't want to be an American loving America against Canadians or Mexicans or Cubans or Iranians or British or Africans or Indians or Pakistanis. No. Love your people and love all other people. Any people. You can't do injustice. You can't, out of love of your own people, do injustice to any other people. It's never right. And you're doing injustice to your own people when you join their injustice against any other people. If you want to do justice to your own people, you should stop them from doing injustice from anyone against anyone else. That's how we should all be. That's how we should all be. We are one people. Allah refers to as Bani Adam. We are all, whether we're Mexican or Cuban or white American or, I don't know, Swedish, Japanese, Aborigines and Africans from Central Africa, South Africa, all these islands, Alaska. It doesn't matter. We're all. إن من آياته اختلاف ألسنتكم وألوانكم. It's the sign of God, the differences in your colors and in your languages. It's beautiful. You speak Urdu, beautiful. You speak English, beautiful. You speak Mexican, beautiful. Portuguese, great. African languages that I don't know their names, great. You speak Asian languages, awesome. Russian, amazing. Whatever language, it's ayat of Allah. And here we are making fun of each other. Oh, look at the sound of this language. Sounds like this, sounds like that. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Making fun of any people for their language, their looks, their color, their culture, their food. You don't like it, don't eat it. The world has come to a point where these things are becoming universal, looking for the truth. There are Jewish people that are condemning Zionists. More and more, there have been. You're in New York, in Brooklyn, some of the Orthodox Jews, some of them have been fighting the Zionists. More than we have in ways. Okay? More than we have. Those are pious Jews. Those are good Jews. And now some of the youngsters, I'm hearing so much of it, they're against Israel. Look at the awakening of the masses. This truth of Fatima Zahra and what happened after the demise of the Prophet, out of love of people, not out of hatred, oh, let's go and prove to them Umar did this or that. What's the point of that? Why do you hate your Muslim brother? Don't hate your Muslim brother. Out of love, see if they're interested. Look, these are facts I'm presenting. You don't like it? All right, I don't want to bother. I don't want to disturb you. But this happened. Go check it out. I would like you to realize the truth. I'm willing to hear what you have to say too. Let's have a conversation. With that approach, not the approach of hatred and fighting. We're not doing la'an because we have these feelings against them. We're doing la'an because God said, la'anahumullah. Do you not agree this is the word of God? Here's 2 + 2. This is the word of God. That's the hadith of the Prophet. This is the historic documents. If you have any discussion about it, let's have that. But this is why we're doing it. It's not against you. It's against anyone who did anything wrong. We should all accept that. If I do wrong, you all have the right to condemn me. You should, even if I don't like it. You should. If I'm deserving of la'an, you should do la'an of me. Even if I have the amama on. Doesn't matter. Look up what Islam says. The approach, brothers and sisters, in presenting this. Fatima Zahra, she went to the masjid. This is from her. I'm taking this lesson from her. Look how she presented this. but she did not cause an internal conflict. Did you pay attention to that? Do you think Fatima Zahra could not have incited the emotions of people for them to start fighting each other in the masjid? Some take her side, others take the other side, and then they start fighting each other. She could have spoken in that way as well. None of that happened. None of that happened. Amir al-Mu'mineen came to the masjid, salamullah alayhi, and delivered a very eloquent, passionate, meaningful talk about the wrongs that are happening, exposing the wrongs, speaking against what is happening right now. He spoke against it. And he said, one of the lines is this, Wallah, if I had the number of combatants in the battle of Badr, I would not let this go down. 360 people showed up. But was there infighting there? Did people take out their swords, start fighting? There's two parties here. The emotions are high. People have things at stake. People, how did he speak? He presented this truth without causing infighting. You don't want infighting. We don't want to. If others want to do that, that's their thing. They want to go create Daesh and spread all this hatred against Tashayyu. That's not what we're doing. We're not going to retaliate. Our ulama, alhamdulillah, all of them understand. They tried to create a bloodbath in Iraq right after Saddam. They started bombing and having suicide bombers, ignorant people who were tricked by the CIA to go and blow up Shias thinking that this is the right thing to do. Our Marja'iyya said, we're not retaliating. We're not going to go to Sunni masjids and blow ourselves up. Do not do that. And don't show up there and start massacring people. We don't do that. We will take madlumiyah. We are the followers of Fatima Zahra. We will accept to be madlum while we're strong, but we will not do dhulm to others. We will not oppress others. You killed us indiscriminately, we will not kill you indiscriminately. Okay. They cause these divisions. They want infighting. It doesn't matter what they, and by they, I don't mean Sunnis. No, that's not what I mean. I mean the Americans. I mean the CIA. Al Saud is representing the US in that area. Okay. Doesn't matter what they want. Learn from Fatima Zahra. Present these arguments in a way to the best of your ability. I'm very deficient. I'm speaking of myself. I'm trying to do what I know to be right. I could be wrong. To the best of your ability, your judgment, try your best. Do it in a way where you're presenting these truths. You're not hiding them. You're implementing the verses of the Quran. You're not avoiding it, but you're not doing it in a way to the best of your ability to cause infighting. That's not Fatima Zahra's path. That's not what she did. That's not what Ali did. That's not what Ali did. Ali could have taken the Dhul Faqar. His instruction was not to. One of the outcomes of that was that there wasn't fighting on the streets of Medina. That wasn't what that was about. When he called for 313 people, it wasn't to create a bloodbath in Medina. If there were 313 people, there wouldn't have been a battle. They would have surrendered. They would have surrendered. They didn't have that much support. There would have never been a bloodbath. Ali ibn Abi Talib's method, Fatima Zahra's method, is present the truth. And if you're mistreated, don't mistreat others. But allow the truth to prevail by showing it, even if they treat you with dhulm and they oppress you. Sallallahu alayki ya binta Rasulillah. Ruhi fidaki. Recite a salawat, please. السلام عليك يا ممتحنة امتحنك الله الذي خلقك قبل أن خلقك فوجدك لما امتحنك صابرا صلى الله عليك يا بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليك يا زوجة أمير المؤمنين صلى الله عليك يا أم الحسنين يا أم الأئمة صلى الله عليك أيتها الصديقة الشهيدة صلى الله عليك أيتها المغصوبة حقها المكسورة ضلعها يا فاطمة روحي فداك I don't know how the days went by after that injury, after those injuries. I don't know how you were able to take Hasana to Uhud. I'm sure the injuries had not healed. I'm not sure if the bleeding had stopped. Ya Fatima. I'm not sure how your interactions with Ali went. I'm not sure, some say you covered your face from that point onward from Ali. I think Ali would have wanted to see your face, even though it's bruised. Don't deprive Ali of seeing your face, Ya Fatima. I don't know how these days went by. Did Zainab's hair get combed? Or was your hand in too much pain for you to be able to take care of her? Ya Fatima. Ya Ali, I'm sure it was difficult for you to be in the house watching her put herself behind the door. I'm sure it was difficult to hear her cry and not be able to go and help. But Ali watched Fatima gradually melt before his eyes, the wounds getting worse and worse. It says, on the last days, Fatima was mostly in her bed. She couldn't get up. One morning, some say she got up and started cleaning the house one last time. She took care of the children one last time, obviously tiring her body, her injured body. She returned to her bed. She told Fidda, I'm going to lay down. Every now and then call me. If I don't respond, call Ali. So she lied down, she covered herself. Every now and then Fidda would come and call her. She would get a response. She would continue doing what she had to. But a time came, she called, Ya Fatima, no response. Sayyidati, no response. She panicked, she called Hasanain right into the masjid, tell your father, if you want to see Fatima alive, rush to the house. I haven't seen the account, but I've heard one of the reciters that seems to look up the accounts. He said it says Ali fell when he heard the news. He had to sit down a couple of times in that short distance from the masjid to the house. Amir al-Mu'mineen arrives home, sits by her bed, Ya Fatima, no response. She says, Ya Fatima, again no response. A third time, Ya Fatima, and Ali. Maybe he was trying to say, Fatima, don't be like the people of Medina who don't respond to Ali. She hears him, she responds. Amir al-Mu'mineen has his last conversation with her, a painful one. The most painful line there that I've heard is that she said to Ali, Ya Ali, forgive me these years I was in your house. Fatima, don't burn my heart anymore. With these words, ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. اللهم إنا نسألك وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم بالزهراء وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها بك يا الله 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 يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك وعلى محبة أوليائك. O Allah, hasten the return of our Imam. Allow us to be his true and close companions. Ya Allah, help all those who are helping your cause, especially our ulama, our maraja, above all our leader. Ya Allah, help the mujahideen in Palestine. Ya Allah, forgive us all of our sins. Forgive our parents, our grandparents, our relatives, all believers, those who have left this world, those who are alive. Ya Allah, relieve all the believers who are suffering from hardships, difficulties, illnesses, especially the people of Gaza, suffering from the conditions, the atrocities, the killings, losing loved ones, injuries, not having water, not having food. Ya Allah, by the right of Ali and al-Asghar, by the right of Fatima al-Zahra, relieve them. By the right of Fatima al-Zahra, relieve them. Ya Allah, by the right of the Imam of our time, relieve all the people of the world of the oppressions they're facing. Ya Hussein.
Ya Hussein, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra. मज़हर नूर किबरिया ज़हरा हमसरे शाह लापता ज़हरा صرف سادات کی نہیں مادر، ہر عزادار کی ہے ماں زہرا، یا زہر یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا۔ سورہ کوثر خدا زہرا، مادر شاہ کربلا زہرا، لالۂ باغ مصطفیٰ زہرا، ہمسر پاک مرتضیٰ زہرا، یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا۔ جاہو حشمت کو چھوڑنا ممکن، ترک دنیا ہے با خدا ممکن، تیرے در سے ہماری دوری ہو میری بی بی یہ امر ناممکن، یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا۔ جس نے عرش اولا ہلایا تھا، جس نے بی بی کا دل دکھایا تھا، کچھ تو سوچو ذرا مسلمانوں، کس نے زہرا کا گھر جلایا تھا، یا زہرا یا زہرا۔ کیوں لبوں پر ہے مرثیہ بی بی، کسی تمگر نے توڑ دی پسلی، جس نے توہین کی رسالت کی، جس نے پہلو کو کر دیا زخمی، یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا۔ جو خدا کے نبی کی بیٹی تھی، کس لیے گم ہے اس کا مرقد بھی، جاگ جاؤ ذرا مسلمانوں، ڈھونڈو تربت کو شہزادی کی، یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا۔ کیا فلک نے فلک ستم ڈھایا، ہاگ باغے فدق بھی غضب کیا، جس قرآن کی کہا قربا جل رہا ہے اسی کا دروازہ، یا زہرا یا زہرا۔ جس بی بی نے اپنا منہ پھیرا، جس سے ناراض ہو گئی زہرا، جس سے بنتے نبی پہ ڈھائے ستم، کون آیا تھا دھمکیاں دیتا، یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا یا زہرا۔ جس کی تعظیم میں کھڑے ہو نبی، جس کو کوثر کہے خدا خودی، جس پہ صلوات آئے قرآن اس کے رونے پہ ہائے پابندی، یا زہرا یا زہرا